as some people know, you put me on podcasting and shit.
Yeah.
Like before I even knew the word podcasting, you was the one that was like, "Yo, this is what podcasting is," and I was like, "Interesting."
Yeah.
When did you learn? You know, what was some of the first things that you saw about podcasting? And then you're like, "Oh, cool."
So it was just, so I've always been a YouTube guy.
Yeah.
YouTube has been my TV.
Same.
And so I, back since I was like 17, probably, I started watching, clips from the Joe Rogan Experience. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that and so me being 17, if this was in 2017, so I was like, oh, I didn't know, like, this is cool. There's like these clips are starting to show up on YouTube that I'm seeing.
What were some of the first clips that you saw?
Yeah, so I'll get into that.
Yeah.
I was seeing those and I was like, I didn't even know Joe Rogan, like, what? Like a like this is his podcast? And I just thought it was cool. And then I realized, like, oh wait, he's been doing this like a long time. Like, and it's just been in the background of like everything else he does. And I was like, that's really cool. But it was starting to like get kind of big. Like it was starting to like, the ball was just beginning to like start rolling kind of crazy with it. And so some of the first clips I saw were all like, I was so into like watching the conspiracy stuff, or like the ones with Eddie Bravo, Alex Jones, those first ones. Like, I loved watching any of the ones about him talking about MMA and the UFC cards and stuff. I loved when he had, scientists on. I thought that was amazing. I thought it was so cool that he had on different people, where it's like, it's the exact same podcast, but one podcast you're getting a lot of information to consume, because they're talking about like high level topics that you can't just casually listen to. But then it's like on the same podcast show, you have like
a comedian,
or you have like three of them just like smoking and being just so
Snoop
dumb,
Dogg.
or just talking about just like bullshit, know. And so I thought that was so cool. So I just continued to do that, and I would, put it on when I was going to sleep and stuff, and really enjoyed watching those. And also, this was around the time that I was, after LA, I went back to Ocala, saved up more money, and, worked for a little bit, and then decided to go to Manhattan to, stay there and also work and kind of like get my name out in some of the studios and stuff. And so this being around that time, it was kind of comforting because I was alone, and so having that podcast to watch at night and stuff, it was so cool, and just in my own little space and everything, it was nice.
I 100% feel that, especially being like hours and hours of content is like kind of, in a way, you kind of sit with them in the conversation, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You're a fly on the wall, and it takes zero social energy from you. It's kind of amazing.
Holy crap. Yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like, I'm a really social person.
Yeah.
But if my social battery's drained, like, I cannot be around people. Like, I need to go relax. I like to be alone when I need to be alone.
Yeah.
Podcasts are crazy because it's like I can be alone and be with people at the same time.
Never thought
it's kind of interesting because you put on a podcast that you like, or something that you enjoy what they're talking about, and you can be, not paying attention or whatever. You're not expected to say anything or whatever. They just carry the whole conversation.
Yeah.